I'm Pastor Jay. You know, I got a question asked to me today because we've been talking about divorce and about marrying and leaving your mother and father and becoming one through one of our Bible studies. Well, the thing is, a guy asked, what is biblical marriage? Biblical marriage is when you come in front of God and say you're going to do it His way. You come to God and say, we're going to build this marriage on the foundation of God, His Word. Not do it our way. Not be shacked up with your girlfriend for 2 or 3 years and then say, well, I'm going to get married under God. We can't, that's not how it works. Because what happens is you're building on a bad foundation. What you're doing is you're going to say you're going to do it your way, and then, well, God, since we've done it our way for a while now, we're going to do it your way. That's not how it works. God says you don't play house. What you do is you come together under God's thing. You make a covenant with Him that you're going to build your marriage, that your wife and you are going to become one together, not separate, not be different entities, not live different lives, not do what you want to do and she does what she wants to do. What it is, you're doing it together, being together, understanding that your lives are together under God. That's a biblical marriage. That's when you're not going to give in to your lust. Matter of fact, 1 Corinthians 7:9 says it's better to marry than it is to burn. Because what happens is you're making a mockery of God here. When you decide you're going to give your lust, it goes on. Matter of fact, Paul talks about a lot. How that if you're married, if you sleep with a woman, you're kind of married to her that way. You're joined together, even to a harlot, he said. That's why we have to do it God's way. We have to put everything aside from what we want and do it God's way. That's what a biblical marriage is. Doing it God's way, having a covenant with Him in our marriage, that we're going to raise our family, we're going to do our money. Everything you're doing, you're going to do it God's way. That's the covenant you make with Him. And that's the way we should live, and that's the way we should marry.